Metro Last Light is a awesome post-apocalyptic first-person shooter with horror and survival elements and is based off the Metro book series by Dmitry Gluhovsky. I'm sure I butchered that last name, but the game is great, being the sequel to the game Metro 2033, which I need to beat, although Last Light is very loosely based on the events of the third book, Metro 2035, if what I read on Wikipedia is correct. Apparently, Dimitri co-wrote the video game story, but again, it's only loosely based on the book. Anyways, I recently beat this game for the second time and maybe took me somewhere between 8 to 10 hours to beat, although my first playthrough in 2017 was more along the lines of 12 hours, I'd say. On my recent playthrough, I chose to play on the normal difficulty, versus easy on my first go-round 7 years ago, and I must say that this title is actually better than I remembered it. This title is a stealth open combat hybrid with various forced open combat sections, but a lot of the game largely encourages stealth and gives the player a lot of freedom as to how the game can actually be played. Be it a guns blazing approach where you charge into a room and shoot everything that moves, to creeping around in the shadows and knocking out enemies, to being able to completely avoid any sort of combat at times. You're able to hold 3 guns, and I highly suggest having a firearm for every scenario. A sniper for long shots or super tough enemies, some sort of open combat weapon like a shotgun or an assault rifle, and some sort of stealth weapon with a suppressor, and at least one gun needs to have a night vision sight. I modified the revolver to be my stealth weapon, adding a night vision scope, suppressor, and stock. For anyone who might be picking this game up for the first time, OG release or Redux, I really do suggest experimenting around with the weapons and attachments to see what best fits your playstyle. Often guns have attachments when you find them, but you can customize them at vendors using military grade ammunition, which is the game's currency. As previously mentioned, this game has horror elements, some of which chilled me to the bone when I first played it. While not a full-blown horror game, it's got its fair share of creepy parts. The howls of the wolves, jump scares when being attacked by vines in the overworld, the bed of hands, not really sure how to describe that one, the various ghosts and visions that Artronom, your character, sees, the anxiety in the overworld due to all the dangers lurking around everywhere, it all helps nail in a very unsettling feeling. About the aforementioned survival elements, this largely just comes down to your mask and gas filters in places without oxygen. You gotta remember to change your filter every 5 minutes or you'll suffocate, while being on a constant lookout for fresh filters and trying to keep your mask intact, as it can lose its effectiveness if you receive too much damage while wearing it. But thankfully your watch beeps when you need to change your filter, and you have a timer on your watch so you can see exactly how much time is left on your current filter. The watch is also a very unique mechanic. Unlike most stealth games which give you a detection meter, Metro gives you a watch which glows blue when you are standing in a light source and can potentially be seen, and turns off when you're completely hidden in shadows, although it did seem to glitch out on a couple later levels and constantly stay on even in pure darkness. I don't recall this happening on my first playthrough. Oh well. Overall, I preferred stealth. It's both safer and more satisfying than open combat. It actually took me a while to catch on to this, but melee knockouts and throwing knives make less noise than suppressed guns. I noticed that sometimes enemies would be alerted if they heard me stealth shoot an enemy in the head, but wouldn't hear anything if I punched him in the nose or threw a knife at him. But of course, guards would be alerted if they visibly saw me. And I do like how you have the option to turn off lights in multiple ways, be it finding a light switch and turning off all the lights in a room, shooting lights from a distance, or quietly unscrewing them. It was definitely something I liked. Also, apparently there are night vision goggles hidden somewhere in this game, although I never found them sadly. A bit more about light. You had a flashlight and a lighter, but you had to charge your flashlight from time to time with a hand charger. Very interesting. I don't believe I've ever seen another game do this. In most games, flashlights just have 100% uninterrupted use. No changing batteries, no charging, nothing. I mentioned melee knockouts over knife kills. This game actually has a hidden morale system, which determines the final outcome of the game and whether you get the canon good ending or the bad non-canonical ending. And and keeping kills to a minimum helps you receive the good ending. And you're also given opportunities to kill or have mercy on a couple main villains throughout the game. Although despite doing pretty much all that I could to get non-lethal takedowns and help citizens of the Metro whenever I could, I still got the bad ending on my second go-round. Oh well. Metro Last Light also has a couple tough bosses, especially the giant mama bear boss and the Pavel boss fight, in which I died several times while attempting. And for sure, Metro Last Light has a lot of enemy variety. The wolves, spiders, shrimp, winged ones, normal humans, armored humans, giant praying mantises, along with just a ton of environmental hazards. Tripwire bombs, toxic gas, the swamp levels can be very deceptive, as sometimes things that look like stable ground is actually just really dirty water, unstable ice on one level. You were very seldom 100% safe. And graphically, this game is truly amazing and absolutely 100% nailed the post-apocalyptic look and environment. It's very well detailed in both the underground metros and the above-ground wasteland, just pure 11 out of 10 graphics-wise. And some very good attention to detail here. While wearing a mask, you can sometimes start to sweat and see condensation appear on your mask. I was rather impressed by that, I must say. I don't want to spoil the story, and it'd be a little challenging to do a recap full justice since I never finished the first game, but the story is great and can be rather emotional at times with many twists and turns. I'll leave it at that. The soundtrack is very good, the voice actors are great, and the sound effects are stellar as well. I really enjoyed playing this game again after 7 years and might play through the DLC soon. Although for anyone considering picking up the Redux or remaster, from what I read, a few minor gameplay changes were made, so just keep that in mind if you're considering trying this title for the first time. Metro Last Light rightfully earns a 9.9 out of 10 from me, a truly great game that is 100% worth your time. A couple games I'd suggest if you like Metro Last Light and are looking for a similar title are Crisis 3 and Enemy Front, both of which are stealth, open combat, hybrid first-person shooters. And as a personal side note, the first time I ever heard about this game was from a Game Informer magazine. I don't remember which issue, but the cover story was either LEGO Avengers or Witcher 2. Just wanted to throw that in. Well, that's all from me for today, folks. I hope somebody enjoyed my video, and I hope one day to finish the first game and play Exodus, the third game. Would love to hear your thoughts about my review down in the comments. And for any newcomers to my channel, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games, so feel free to check out some of my other vids if that maybe sounds interesting. Always remember that Jesus loves you all very much. Peace.